On the island of Sodor, the engines like being really useful and really reliable. It shows the Fat Director how useful they are. But, however, sometimes the engines work a little too hard, and they're always left very tired. Without Timothy and Nicholas, there was a lot of work for the engines to do, especially when freight trains were in high demand. But all the engines knew how much the Fat Director was counting on them, and one day, Gordon was waiting at the junction with 1020. He was feeling very tired, and was hoping to get a rest before his next stop. "You alright, Gordon? You seem exhausted." Ever since the Fat Director sent away 98462, I've been doing some of his work, and Henry's been doing 87546's work. So yeah, we're pretty stoked here on the main line. You're telling me Gerald has been literally swimming in trucks at the quarry, and look how many coaches I've had to add just to accommodate all the passengers we've been getting. It's good business, my dear Gordon, but there's not enough engines. Precisely, 1020. The Fat Director's a good man, but he must manage his railway better, or otherwise we'll all fall behind. Who's that? I know that whistle. Suddenly, a bright green tender engine came whooshing in with a passenger train rocking behind it. The engine looked very grand, and it was going very fast. As it whizzed by Gordon, his jaw dropped on the floor. As the engine raced by Gordon, it disappeared in a blink of an eye. Gordon was very impressed. I know who that engine is. It's Alfred. I can't believe he's here. Alfred who? You remember Alfred? He came to our railway during Sodor Day. Don't you remember, 1020? I have no idea who he is, but I better be going. Gordon was very pleased to see that Alfred had arrived, as before coming to Sodor, he used to work with him, and despite 1020 not knowing who he was, Alfred was very liked on the railway. But there was still one who wasn't all that keen about him. Since Alfred's last visit to the NWR, Eagle had taken a disliking to him, and neither Alfred was all that crazy about Eagle. Later that evening, Alfred was sleeping at Hidden of Sheds. He was talking to Gordon non-stop, which started to bother the other engines. So Alfred, tell me, how's Cecil doing? I haven't heard from him in a while. Is he alright? Oh, he's great, thank you for asking. He's just getting some maintenance done at the works. Should be out in a jiff. We have another engine doing his work right now. Oh, that's great to hear. Say, how's the mainland? I sure do miss it, and the long runs that came with it, and all the express trains. I like it here, but my capabilities are so restricted here. Don't you get what I mean? But before Gordon could finish, Adam cut in. Oh, so, Alfred, do you guys just not sleep up there in the mainland? I wasn't on there for long, so I wouldn't know. Why, of course we sleep, my dear engine. Everyone needs their sleep. What kind of ludicrous idea is that? Oh, nothing. Just wondering. So you're Timothy's replacement? Yes, sir. Well, go scram already. No one likes you. Aww. Just then, Eagle came along. He was hoping for a rest in the sheds. He had had a very long day, when he found that Alfred was in his berth. What are you doing there? That's my berth, in my sheds. Well, Mr. Tantrum, said Alfred sarcastically, my friend Gordon graciously invited me here to sleep the night. So you better go find somewhere else to sleep, because I'm not moving. Well, you better shoo. These sheds are for the Fat Director's engines, not you. Eagle, how dare you talk to our guests like that? It is absolutely disgraceful. Also, must I remind you that there's no assigned sheds, so anyone is welcome to sleep anywhere. Well, fine. I'll sleep elsewhere. I'm too good for you guys anyways. And Eagle angrily stormed off. The next morning, Edward was taking a stone train to Tidmouth to be picked up by Emily. As he was entering the yards, he saw Eagle talking to old Slowcoach in the sidings. Eagle, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be out already? Not for another 18 minutes. I'm just talking with old Slowcoach to pass the time. And what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be at Tidmouth? I was, but when I saw you, I thought I should check on you. If it's about last night, then I'm alright. I'm just honestly a bit bothered by Alfred. Why don't you like him? You never really told me. It all really started during his first visit to Sodor. When I was at the washdown, he asked for me to leave, as he claimed it was his turn. I told him no, and after a while of us fighting, he called me a common goods engine. And well, you understand the gist of it. Eagle, are you having issues again? I know this usually wouldn't bother you. No, I'm not. And stay dead. What in blazes are you doing? Why did you crash those trucks into the buffers? They were causing trouble for me. I had to move them somehow. So your course of action is just to bash them through the buffers, well? Yes, it is. And do you have a problem with that? It's not my fault I never experienced trucks this troublesome. This railway is really something else. Oh my lord, you mainland engines are a whole nother can of worms. Just be off with you already, I'll get your train ready soon. Alfred only scowled at Colin and took his leave. But later that afternoon, when he came back to the yards, he was not pleased at all to see the train he was taking. Now what's this? I'm supposed to be taking passengers, not dirty trucks from dirty sidings. Does it look like I could alter the schedule? No, I can't. And this is the train you need to take, and you're going to take it, and you're going to enjoy it. Alfred was tearing down the line in dangerous speeds. He was going very, very fast. Too fast for even the trucks. Even they wanted to slow down. But if they dared to ask, Alfred would just say, "What? I thought you trucks liked going fast. And besides, I'm going within the speed limit." But he wasn't. But then there was trouble. Lily was coming down on the same line. Alfred just loudly blew his whistle to try and get Lily out of the way. Fortunately, Lily acted fast and applied her brakes. Lily quickly went back up the way she came from to avoid a crash. The signalman saw this and quickly switched the points, sending Alfred on the wrong line. Alfred suddenly realized he was heading for a set of buffers. He quickly applied his brakes, but the trucks pushed him on and on. Thankfully, when Alfred hit the buffers, he didn't go right through them, but he hit into them hard. He felt dazed and surprised. He was not happy about it at all. Bother those trucks, he thought. He was convinced they pushed them. But then, as he was backing up, he heard some noises. Driver, did you hear that? I think someone's here. I heard it too, Alfred. I think I'll go check it out. Be careful, Charlie, you don't know what's out there. When his driver came back, he heard him carrying something into his cab. Driver, what's that? When he told him, Alfred's mouth was wide open in shock. Alfred quickly rushed into the station to find Adam waiting with a passenger train. He quickly explained the situation to Adam, and Adam rushed away with his passenger train. After a few weeks, word had got out on what Alfred did, and boy oh boy, did Alfred become quite the celebrity. All the engines were very proud of Alfred and congratulated him on his efforts many times. Alfred's story even made it on the newspapers and proudly hung at Knapford Station. Alfred beamed from buffer to buffer. Even though everyone was proud of him and happy for him, there was still one engine who didn't share such feelings. One afternoon, Eagle was complaining to Tyler at Rugby Station about the absurdity of it all that was Alfred's newfound popularity on the island. It's absolutely preposterous, Tyler. I've been working on this railway for many years, and boom, Alfred comes here for a few weeks, and suddenly he's the most well-known character on the whole bloody island? It's absolutely unfair! Don't you think you're overreacting a bit? And besides, what did he even do? Well, apparently, he found an injured sailor on one of those old tugboats at the harbor at Suttery, and then he took him to Wellsworth, which he was boarded onto Adam's train. Adam took him to Abbey, that's where the ambulance picked him up and took him to the hospital, and now he's a worldwide hero? It's absolutely unfair what it is. Why do you even care so much? I mean, everyone barely notices me, and look, I'm not complaining about it. You're just a small tank engine, Tyler. You wouldn't know what all the fuss is about. You're probably too ignorant anyways. Oh, so I'm ignorant now. Oh, shove off already, you big red rocket. Your train is ready. Get a move on. Stupid mainline engines. I mean, why is everyone so compelled to be famous nowadays? Stupid Tyler, stupid Alfred, stupid everything. Doesn't know a bloody thing. Well, I'll show him. I'll get myself a section in the newspaper. This is the last thing I do. Later that night, Eagle came back to the sheds, very tired and very sad. He was still processing the event that happened earlier that day, and didn't know what to think of it. Hello, Eagle, Emily peeped. I heard you got into some shenanigans today. Are you alright? Yes, Emily. Thank you for asking. I'm just still very shaken. I mean, I could have gone up in flames myself for crying out loud. Oh, and as they were cleaning the mess up, I got covered in tar. It's so sticky, and my driver didn't have time to clean it. You win some, you lose some. At least you're safe now. I beg to differ. Alfred is staying the night here, and he and Gordon won't stop chattering amongst themselves. And I need my beauty sleep. I must look presentable. Oh, come on, Regaby. You're always complaining about this or that. Just let them be. They're two friends catching up. No harm in that. Well, if those two friends are annoying the bullocks out of me, then there is some harm done after all. Gordon, I can deal with, but Alfred, well, he's just another can of worms. That engine drives me extremely mad, and he explained all the things that have been happening between him and Alfred. Well, you can't have that, Eagle. You must assert dominance, and I know how to do it. Tomorrow, a very heavy train from the mainland is coming in, and I'm to pull it from Vickerstown Yards. You're going to go there and wait for it to arrive. Then once you pull it, Alfred is going to see how good you are, and he's going to be emasculated by an engine he once called Common. You understand my drift? Eagle wasn't too sure about Regaby's idea, but it was the only idea he had. So he agreed to Regaby, and arrangements were made. The next morning, Eagle was waiting at Vickerstown Yards for the train to arrive. He was secretly feeling very nervous, and wasn't sure if he would be able to pull the train. Oh dear, what did I get myself into? Oh well, the train might not be that long. I might be able to pull it. Oh dear, that must be the engine arriving with the freight train. Oh, why hello. I don't suppose that you're that Regaby engine I was looking for. He's supposed to pick up my train from here. Yep, that's me, the one and only. Oh great. But say, I don't mean to assume, but are you sure you're strong enough to take this? I'll be happy to take it for you if you can't. Nope, I'm pretty sure I can do it. I've pulled longer trains before. This should be a piece of cake. Oh, okay, well, see you then, Regaby. I wish you luck. Eagle slowly shuffled over to the line next to him to be coupled up. As he was reversing, he accidentally bumped into the first truck hard. Once everything was ready and Eagle was coupled up, he started pulling, but he found that he couldn't get the train moving at all. He groaned and he strained, maybe a bit too hard, because then Eagle started leaking steam from all directions. He was very surprised. What happened? I suddenly feel so weak. Just then, Alfred came along from behind. He had seen everything and found the whole situation amusing. I can't believe you actually tried to pull a train that was way out of your capabilities. And the best part was when you said you were Regaby. Oh, just wait till I tell Gordon this. And he puffed away, howling with laughter. Later that day, Eagle came to the yards at Wellsworth to drop off some coaches from an earlier passenger train, when he saw a fuming Colin waiting in one of the sidings. What's the matter with you? Eagle questioned. I just got an earful from the yard manager. Apparently, Alfred left the tail end of his train, and when the yard manager found out, he got mad at me. And when I offered to do an extra trip to take it for him, he got mad at me again. Yeesh, and I thought I was having a bad day, and he explained everything. Oh, leave them be. Regaby's always full of stupid ideas, and Alfred is not any better. Oh, and look, speak of the devil, grumpy as ever I expect, and indeed he was. he came storming into the yards, going a bit too fast. Alright, I'm here. No need to get into a tizzy. I can't believe I had to make a trip all the way back here for some stupid vans. It is absolutely... Well, just great. Were you aiming for the trucks, genius? Sorry, I was actually aiming for your face. I was aiming for your face. The vans are on fire! Wait, what? Oh my bloody hell, they are! Well, I'm not staying here any longer. I'm out of here too. Wait for me! Wait a minute, guys, I just realized something. There's a fuel tanker on my train. If that goes off, then we'll all be toast. Not just us, all the people and the passengers in the station. Don't worry, guys, I'm gonna go get it. Eagle, no! Phew, it's getting really hot in here. I better go fast. Jesus Christ! After the fire brigade came and sorted out the mess, the 3 engines were standing in the sidings, still in disbelief. Well, that just happened. I don't think I'll be waking up tomorrow. Whew-wee. I'll say that's probably one of the most intense situations I've been in. Well, I'm just happy we made it out alive. Yes, and it's all thanks to you. Listen, Eagle, I know we've had our differences before, and I'm just sorry. I'm sorry for everything I wronged you for, and I hope we can make up. What? Are you serious right now? Yes, I'm actually serious. Because today, my friend, you've taught me a valuable lesson to never judge a book by its cover. Before, when I first met you, I thought you were just some regular dirty goods engine. But now, after seeing such bravery and courage, I am just lost for words. Eagle, I'm sorry. Well, Alfred, if anyone should be apologizing, it's me. I've been really bad to you, and just because of my own insecurities, I thought you were better than me, and I wanted to be better than you. Well, I accept your apology, and I hope we can be friends in the future. I forgive you too. And I also really hope so. But not bad for a common goods engine, eh? Oh, come now. That was in the past. And I think we should leave it there. And that day, a beautiful friendship was formed. One morning, Thomas the Tank Engine was sleeping soundly in his sheds. He was feeling very comfortable, and he forgot about all of his jobs. It's so nice to be such a grand and splendid engine such as myself, who does have to keep up appearances. Thomas was so busy sleeping, he completely forgot about all his jobs in the yards. But unfortunately for him, someone remembered for Thomas. What's going on? Oh, sorry, Thomas. I didn't mean to wake you. I didn't know you were asleep. I just came here to tell you that you're late. You're late. We need you in the yards. So, you scared the ever-living daylight out of me just to tell me that? A nice... Oh, Thomas, wake up. Would have been nice. Not a fucking siren. You should never, ever wake up an engine with your shrill whistle, 13. Oh, I'm really sorry, Thomas. I didn't mean to scare you. We just really need your help in the yards. I'll be out soon, 13. Just give me a minute. Oh, okay, Thomas. I'll be waiting for you in the yards then. Bye-bye. Bloody hell. That tank engine is really something else. Knapford is a very busy station. It is the first station on the Northwestern's main line, and there are many trains waiting to leave or just arriving at the place. Many goods trains and passenger trains come in, which means that a station pilot is very important. Whenever a goods train or a passenger train arrives, the engine doesn't have to wait long for a shunter to come and take away his train, so they can go and rest. So 13, remind me why I need to be here? It's not that busy. I'm sure you and the guys could handle this easily. Well, it's simple really, Thomas. You're one of the best shunters here. And as they say, nothing but the best for the best. This island is really lovely. I hope I get to stay on it. Imagine if we worked together every day. That would be so cool. Yes, it would be absolutely cool, Thomas said, very sarcastically. I know, right? 13 said enthusiastically, clearly not realizing Thomas's disliking to him. Well, I better get these to Gordon. See you, Thomas! What a fucking idiot. 13 swiftly shuffled into Knapford Station with Gordon's coaches. He was feeling very bright and cheery. Oh, what fun this will be, working with Thomas. Oh, I must impress the fat director. Oh, Tyler, look, Emily said. There's a number 13. You know what they say. Some railwaymen folk consider that number to be unlucky. Oh, wow, Emily. How long did that one take you? I didn't know. 13 heard Emily's comment about his number, and that made him very upset. Oh, I wonder if Emily's correct. Then, 13 made his way to the back of the train so he could push to help it start. It wasn't long before Gordon the big engine came to collect his train, and he was feeling as pompous as ever. I look my best today, and you know why, Gordon announced to everyone. It's because I'm the grandest and the best. Oh, please, Gordon, spare me from your boasting today. No one in a 5-mile radius knows who you even are. I'd like to stay here and tell you how great I am, but the express mustn't be late. And with that, Gordon puffed away, taking 13 with him. Oh, Gordon, stop, stop. Trippity truck, you can't get away, sang the coaches as they raced down the line. 13 was very frightened. He applied his brakes, but it had no effect. Gordon was going too fast. Hurry, hurry, hurry! Stop! nice and early. I really am the best. You do know that, don't you, Lily? Yeah, you're pretty good, Gordon, but you sure you didn't have a little help there? What? Whatever do you mean, Lily? Well, Gordon, 13 is at the back of your train. Gordon looked back, and indeed, 13 was there. Oh, 13. I'm sorry I dragged you along. I didn't know you were here, Gordon said. But 13 said nothing. He just headed for the water column. A while later, when Gordon's train left, 13 was still feeling bummed out. He was just refueling himself at the water tower. 13, are you okay? You look really sad, Lily said. Is everything okay? No, everything's not okay. And he explained what Emily said. When he finished, Lily smiled sympathetically. Oh, 13, bad luck doesn't exist. It's just some tish-tosh superstition. It's only real if you believe in it. 13 wasn't sure, but he knew he had to get back to the yards, and he puffed away. 13 made his way back to the yards. He was very worried on what Thomas would say when he found out what happened. When 13 rolled up in the yards, he saw Thomas and Edward talking. They were behind a long line of trucks. 13 saw them, but they didn't see him. Come on, Thomas. Give him a fair chance. He seems like a nice bloke. No, I will not, Edward. It seems like accident after accident with him. Whatever bad can happen, happens with him around. I don't know, but I think that 13 on him is unlucky. Thomas, don't think like that. He's trying his best. It's hard being the new engine on Sodor. I'll believe it when I see it. Thomas, are you sure that your hatred isn't directed towards the fact he's Timothy's replacement? Well, maybe, no. Well, maybe. No, Edward. No, I've come to perfect terms with that. I mean, I'm so sad that he's still gone, but no, I've accepted for life for what it is. I'm a new engine. Thomas, I never could know what's going on inside of that boiler of yours, but let me tell you, if you are upset about that, then don't make 13 suffer for it. He did nothing. I'm sure he would never want that to anyone. Oh no, I didn't know Thomas didn't like me. What can I do now? But then, 13 had an idea. Oh, I know. Hard work is always rewarded, so I'll just work my hardest and Thomas will like me. Hey driver, do you reckon these trucks are supposed to be here? I don't know, 13. I don't think they are. Maybe Thomas left them. I'm not sure. Well, let's move it for him then. I'm sure he'll be so happy we helped him, and finally, Thomas will like me. Oh, Thomas will be so happy when he sees this. He'll be so proud of me too. And then finally, we'll become the best of friends. Oh, 13. I'm glad I found you. Say, would you happen to know where my trucks are? I left them at the harbor. Oh, Thomas, I was just about to look for you. Yes, I know where they are. They're right now on the train that's leaving. I shunted them for you, to save you the trouble. Oh, really? Thank you, 13. Wait, what did you just say? Oh, I said I shunted them for you. Now they're on their way with that train that's leaving. Oh my goodness! 13, no! Why did you take them? Those weren't yours! Oh, I know, but I just wanted to help. 13, you did not help me at all. You made things worse. Those trucks are not supposed to go there. They're for Regaby and he's waiting in the yards for me right now. Oh, I must stop that train. Oh dear, Thomas is so mad at me now. And I don't think the fat director will be any happier when he finds out about all my messes. And indeed, he wasn't. Later that evening, when 13 puffed into Tidmouth Sheds, he saw the fat director already reprimanding Gordon for his earlier actions. Well, Gordon, I hope you're happy with yourself. You somehow managed to drag 2 engines down the main line with your express 2 times. Please explain how this has happened again. Well, you see, sir, the interesting thing is I left too early because the express was running late and they didn't have a chance to uncouple him. Wow, Gordon, just wow. I am quite disappointed in you. I mean, to go without a notice from the guard or me or anyone. I am very disappointed with you, Gordon. If this ever happens again, then you will be on goods duty. You understand me, Gordon? Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I would hope so. And now I've got to go. My wife has made me a very quaint dinner. And the fat director left, leaving the engines all alone with each other. Wow, Gordon, you're just some really special stupid idiot, aren't you? How do you manage to do the same thing 2 times? Well, it's not my fault, Henry. Thomas and 13 and all those little buggers in the yards take too long getting me my coaches. I have no choice. Oh, really now? How convenient of an excuse that is. It's no excuse, Henry, it's the truth. Oh, really now? That's the truth? Yes it is. Are you calling me a liar? I'm not calling you a truther either. Shut up, the both of you! I am trying to talk with 13. Goodness gracious. Now, 13, you must understand that the job you have in the yards is very important. If a train doesn't leave on time, then it might be delayed. The yards are no place for muckering about. I know, Thomas, I know. I'm trying my best. Well, you better try harder, 13. Listen, we have a lot of work to do, and the work we do is very important. So please, just try and shape it up. Okay, Thomas. I'm sorry. The next day, 13 was yet again hard at work, hoping to make up for his past mistakes. He was being extra careful to avoid any accidents. But then there was trouble. 13 wasn't attending to what he was doing. He was too busy worrying over what would happen if he had an accident. As such, the long line of trucks he was moving was about to derail. Oh no! I really messed up now! And indeed, he did. The long line of trucks 13 was moving derailed as they were going over the points. And worse for worse, they were now blocking the way out of the sheds. Now what in the blazes happened here? And why are all those trucks derailed? How am I supposed to leave the sheds now? I'm sorry, Regaby. The trucks just derailed as I was going over the points. Oh, well, that's just splendid. What's going on here? Emily called out. Now look what 13 did, Emily. He blocked the way out of the sheds. What? Oh, 13. I already said I was sorry. Let me go get some cranes. I'll be right back. 13 got the cranes, but there was another problem. The cranes were old and rusted, and they barely worked, and the workmen couldn't get them to start. Oh no, please work, please. And finally, it seemed the cranes would start working again, and the workmen got straight to work. And now where were you, 13? Was that speech I gave you last night all for nothing? I'm sorry, Thomas. I needed to clear an accident. An accident you caused, I presume. Yes, I caused the accident. I'm sorry. I am so tired of your... Actually, 13, never mind, accidents happen. But say, why not venture out of the yards a bit, There's a passenger train that needs to leave soon, and it has your name on it. Really, Thomas? That would be amazing! Oh yes, it really would be. Now run along, 13, you mustn't be late. Oh, okay. Oh, Thomas, you're a genius. That should keep him away. 13 excitedly made his way to Knapford Station, where he found his coaches awaiting. Oh, this is so exciting. I have never pulled a passenger train before. Oh, Thomas is so nice. Meanwhile, while 13 was passing out over a passenger train, a mother and her child were standing at the near end of the station. The child had a whistle in its hand, which merely sounded like an actual whistle that the god would usually have. The kid excitedly blew its new whistle, and 13 thought it was the actual god blowing his whistle. Oh dear, I must go now. Thankfully, the guard noticed that the train was leaving without him, and he blew his whistle. 13 quickly stopped. What's the matter, driver? And then, 13 realized that they had left some of the people and the guard behind. 13 sadly made his way to the last stop, where another engine would take over the train. I can't believe it. My first passenger train, and I messed it up. Oh, come on, 13. Practice makes perfect. I'm sure in a few days' time, you will be the best passenger engine on this island. I don't know about that, driver. But it honestly doesn't matter anymore. How many times I've messed up, the fat director probably won't keep me. Now come on, I want to go back to the yards. As 13 was making his way down the line, he saw a random goods train parked on the line beside him. He was very confused until he saw who was at the front of the train. It was Henry. He had broke down and was making a big cloud of smoke. Henry, why did you just stop here? And why are you all covered in grime? Oh, 13. I fell ill again. I can't move anymore, and there's no one here to rescue me. No worries, Henry. I can just pull you to Ellsworth. I've been told I'm a very strong engine. And 13 chortled off. 13 switched tracks and coupled up to Henry. He was feeling very confident in himself. Are you sure this will work, 13? Oh, of course it will, Henry. I'm the strongest tank engine you'll find. Henry wasn't so sure. Don't worry, Henry, I'll get you to Ellsworth. Let me just... Come on, come on. Ooh, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Oh, come on. Henry, why are you so bloody heavy? 13, I kind of tried to tell you that you couldn't pull me, but maybe you should just try without me? I'm sure you could take the train onwards. You're probably right, Henry. Sorry I couldn't make it. You could have just knocked. When 13 was rescued, the fat director had some stern words for him. 13, I do not know what to do with you. I want to be fair, but you've had the most accidents out of any engine this week. I have no other choice but to send you to work on the Farquhar line. Maybe working on the 1020's guidance will shapen you up. Yes, So after a while of exploring the Farquhar branch line, 13 made his way to Farquhar, where he found 1020 getting a new coat of paint. Well, hello, youngster. I've been made aware of the tricks you've been pulling on the main line. Don't worry, I was a very cheeky young whippersnapper in my days. We'll soon put you in line. It might be a lost cause, 1020. I'm unlucky. Unlucky? Ah, so you're jinxed. Well, don't worry. I know how to get rid of all these bad omens and curses and whatever. 1020. He is not staying here. I've been hearing all about the holy hell he's been causing for the other chaps on the main line. He is not staying here. Work is already shit. That's the last thing I need. Oh, come on, Gerald. The lad needs a boost. And who else to help him but me? Oh, hell no, 1020. I am not getting cursed. That is the last goddamn thing I need today. 13, why don't you go to the junction and collect some vans for me? I'm running a bit behind schedule. I need to finish my repaint. Oh, okay, 1020. It had been a while after 13's accident, and Thomas the Tank Engine started to feel terrible about it, as he knew it was his fault for sending 13 off. Oh dear, what shall I do? It's all my fault, and once everyone finds out, they're not going to like me. Oh, Christ. Oh, what's going on? Wait, 13? What are you doing here? I thought you would have gone back to your old home. Well, that's the interesting part, Thomas. Your fat controller bought me. Now I'm a Northwestern engine like you. Oh, that's amazing, 13. Yes, it is. 13, I'm sorry for the rude way I was to you. You didn't deserve it. Oh, Thomas, it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes, goofs, or yaps. I guess you're right. Thirteen, the new engine, was enjoying life on the island of Sodor, and he was making sure that all his jobs were done, even if it had to mean working into the evenings. 13 loved working on the island of Sodor and meeting so many engines. He even got to venture out a bit, pulling many goods trains or passenger trains. The passengers always liked seeing him. But of course, 13 needed proper training to be able to venture out of the big station, which 1020 helped him with. And in other news, the Fat Director repainted some of his engines in all the colors he wanted to see on the railway. Thomas, Edward, and Gordon and Colin got repainted in a navy blue like 1020, and Henry was painted in blue to match Edward and Gordon, while Emily got a nice spiffy GNR green. All the engines loved their new coats of paint, but that couldn't be said for everyone who got repainted. Later that night, 13 backed up into the sheds at Knapford to see a very cheerful Thomas in his new coat of paint. Oh, well, good evening, 13. What's been new with you? Nothing much, Thomas. But wow, that new blue looks very smart on you. Oh, thank you. I love it. This is definitely better than the old blue I had. Blue is the only proper color for an engine. I've always been painted black. I wouldn't want to be any other color. Oh, be quiet, scowled Gerald. All this fuss over some paint jobs. I don't have time to look my best. I work in a very dirty quarry. Let a really useful engine sleep. Then be quiet, Gerald. You might wake him. Oh, piss off, Thomas. You should consider yourself lucky. While there's almost a whole team of engines working in the yards, there's no one helping me in the quarry. Well, Gerald, if you're feeling so overworked, maybe ask the Fat Director to get someone to help you. Pah! One of you incompetent fools? I'd never. So why are you complaining then? Be quiet, 13, you unlucky sod. No one likes you. Oh, pay no mind to him, 13. He hates himself. That's why he's so cross. He's always cross. Oh, shut up, Thomas. You guys should consider yourselves lucky. At least you got the paint jobs you wanted. Tyler tricked the workman into painting me like him. Oh, come on. You look really cute like that. Although, pity about your face though, we can't fix that. Oh, piss off already. I already look horrible. You don't need to insult me. Well, yes, we can all agree that Eagle looks absolutely atrocious, and that Gerald is a fucking asshole. Have you looked in a mirror recently, Thomas? Because the only ass I see here is you. You do like to talk a lot of crap. As you can see, the conversation soon got too uncomfortable for 13. Tyler's whistle is so shrill. Now I see what Thomas meant. But just then, before even 13 properly woke up, the fat director popped in. Good morning, engines. Oh, good morning, sir. How are you, sir? I'm well, 13, thank you. And I'm glad you're awake, actually, as I have some very important news to share with you. Now, Gerald, I have noticed that your work in the quarry has been well, and you clearly need some help. So, I have decided to trial 13 in the meantime to help you. No, I don't need his help. I can do it on my own. I just need a proper rest. Now, Gerald, really useful engines don't argue. But I will give you two options, and you see which one is better for you. Option 1 is either you accept the help and stay quiet, or the other option is sending you to work in the scrapyards while 13 handles the work in the quarry alone. So, what will it be, Gerald? Fine. I'll let him help me. Now that's a good engine. And all of you, continue with your regular work, and I just want to say that you've all been really useful. And the fat director walked away, leaving some tension behind. Well, Gerald, Thomas laughed. It seems that your words really did come bite you in the bunker. Frankly, I wasn't expecting it to happen so soon. Oh, shove it, Thomas. Shove it to hell. Oh, you'll never change. I don't know why you don't want me to help you. It's because you're bad luck. I'm not bad luck. Ever since I got fixed up at the works and got a new boiler, I've been very lucky, actually. Oh, do you think you're lucky? Well, it will take more than luck to save you from those demon trucks in the quarry. Just you mark my words. Oh, don't listen to him, 13. He's just trying to bring you down. But anyways, bye-bye, 13, and good luck. You'll need it. Yeah, a bit smoother with those trucks. You'll spill the loads right out them. Oh, come on, lighten up, Gerald. Oh, yes, lighten up, Gerald, is all you have to say. Like I'm the problem. Be careful with those trucks or they'll peg you out. I know what I'm doing. I work in the yards, Gerald. That will be fine. 13 got straight to work, shunting, poling, and hauling trucks wherever they were needed. His experience in the yards immensely helped him, and he had no issues at all. But that was until later that day when he tried to place some trucks under the quarry chutes. Alright. Now let's get you guys sorted into place. But that was easier said than done. When 13 tried to move the trucks, they wouldn't go. Their brakes were hard on. Oh, come on, come on, come on! 13 panted, trying to move the trucks. When then there was trouble. After 13 was pulled out of the rubble, he was now feeling very sad, as the quarry manager and Gerald were very cross with him, and he was taking extra care to be very careful to not to get in any messes like that. 13 was moving a very long line of trucks, and he couldn't see properly behind him, which is why he didn't see Gerald sleeping in the sheds behind him. 13 was none the wiser, and the signalman didn't see anything, and then there was trouble. And with a proper bashing, 13 gave Gerald a very rude awakening. Gerald was very cross, and 13, well, he was the most surprised out of all. Gerald was very cross. So, this is how you're helping me? Bashing me awake with trucks? I thought you knew what you were doing. I'm sorry, Gerald. I didn't mean to wake you up. Oh, please. You used that excuse so much today. It has no meaning at all. You know what? Just go to 1020 at Farquhar. I don't want to see your face around here until I arrive with my next train. And 13 skimpishly puffed away. That bloody engine giving me boiler aches all day. Don't be so sad, 13. Gerald is always like this. Hell, when I tried to help him in the quarry, he'd be exactly the same with me. Thanks, 1020, but I still feel really bad about it. I wish I could just prove myself to Gerald. Well, Gerald is very difficult to please, but a wise man once told me that being brave doesn't mean doing scary things. Being brave means knowing when to be brave. So if I'm brave, then Gerald will like me? Of course he will. Who else knows Gerald better than me? I've been working on him here on this branch line for a very, very long time. 13 didn't quite understand what Gen 20 meant when being brave was knowing when to be brave, but he thought he'd give it a try and made a plan. But before 13 could even finish his thoughts, Gerald came in with a goods train from the quarry. He was still feeling very riled up, and as he entered the yard, he was not in no happy mood. Alright, 1020, here's your train from the quarry as promised. Now you take it to the junction like you said, and someone will pick it up. And you, 13, you're coming back with me to the quarry. I do need your help there. It's very, very busy. Oh, okay, Gerald, I'm coming. And 13 puffed away. In one of the sidings at the quarry resides a very grumpy hopper called Hector. He's very big, and he's very heavy, and he doesn't like to be moved at all. Gerald warned 13 to not get close to him, and 13 thought it would be a good idea to try and move him to prove to Gerald how brave he is. 13 was very anxious, and he slowly approached Hector, trying to look as harmless as possible. But Hector knew what he was doing. He roared loudly and said, "Keep away!" 13 jumped and leapt forwards very fast, bumping into Hector, sending him rolling right into the buffers. Hector hit into the buffers very hard, causing a massive shake and an avalanche. Rocks were falling everywhere. Finally, they seemed to stop, but they were completely covering the lines. Hector and 13 felt very silly indeed. When 13 crept up to the realization that he bumped Hector, he was very afraid. He thought Hector would gobble him up. But Hector seemed very sad. "I'm sorry I scared you. I didn't mean to." 13 was taken aback. "Oh, well, I'm sorry too that I bumped into you. Now we've caused this massive mess." 13! 13 looked back, only to see Gerald seeing red. He was as red as his paintwork. "What did you do, 13? 13 couldn't reply. He was tongue-twisted hard. Oh, the quarry manager is going to be furious when he sees this. You're done for now. What was that sound? 13 asked. Oh, that was the work whistle. That means we're done for today. But, assuming the mess you caused, the workmen will have to stay later to fix it. And Gerald went to go get them, while 13's heart sank, and he solemnly went to go join him. But, as fate would have it, rain fell upon the island of Sodor, It was very loud and very sharp, and all the engines were huddled in their sheds seeking shelter. But it fell really hard down at the quarry. Oh, God. Stupid rain. The quarry is gonna be a mess tomorrow. I really don't like rain. I hope it passes soon. What? Are you really scared of water? No, I'm not scared. Well, it seems to me you are.
Oh dear, look, poor old 13 is scared of some water from the sky. Maybe he'll hide in the tunnel like Henry. Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain.
I am not scared of the rain. I quite like it. I just don't want to get my paint wet is all.
13's probably so scared of the rain, he's squeaking his brains.
I'm not scared at all, thank you very much. But I know a story that will scare you. Have you ever heard of the tall tale of Nicholas? The tall tale of what now? So the engine doesn't know? Well, I might as well tell you now. Back before you first came to the railway, there used to be another small black tank engine that used to work in the yards at the big station. And his name was Nicholas. Nicholas was nice to all, and all were nice to him, and he never had problems with anyone. Well, where is he now? What happened to him? Well, I used to know him in my earlier days on this island, until one fateful day, he left us. He was involved in a homicide accident, and I'm sorry to say that he was never seen again. And legend says that on the date of his fateful accident, that he plunges into the night, shrieking like a lost soul. So 13, tell me, how did you like the story? It was good, Gerald. Really love the spooky tale. Anyways, I think it's getting really late. We should go to sleep. Okay. Just be careful the ghost engine doesn't get you. Gerald chuckled as he drifted off to sleep, leaving 13 with a lot to think about. Where am I? Oh, I'm in my shed. My nice shed. Oh, Gerald, why are you up so early? Do we already start work? Oh, sorry I woke you up, 13, but yeah, we should start around now. Oh, but I feel so weak. I feel so ill today. Oh, Gerald, I'm so sorry to hear. It's fine. I just don't know who'll take my first train for the day. Well, I can take it. No, you won't take it. I'll just wait till I steam up properly. Oh, come on, Gerald. Don't be like that. I can take it. Fine. I suppose you can take it. The train will be waiting for you at Farquhar. Great. Alright, I'll go pick it up now. Bye, Gerald. I have a very bad feeling about this. It didn't take long for 13 to pick up his train and swiftly make his way to the junction to leave his train for another engine to pick up. The rain from last night had thankfully died down, but the island was still stuck in a grim, cloudy state. But 13 didn't mind. It wasn't too dark and he could still see. 13 passed the old cottage where he had his accident. He was thankful to see that there were no obstacles on the line. At least, there wasn't any. As 13 rounded a corner, he was surprised to see that there was something on the line. He sharply applied his brakes and quickly stopped before he hit the thing. When 13 looked closer, he noticed that it was a signal that had fallen over onto the tracks. He didn't know how it got there, but it didn't matter, as soon more problems came down the line. Just up the line, there's a signal box that's accompanied by an old crossing gate, which is known by 1020 in jail to be very finicky. Sometimes they have to wait a very long time for it to finally open. But this day, it would never open. The signalman was already having problems opening it, as he was expecting 13 to pass by. He was trying and trying, but he couldn't. The storm and the fallen signal had shut down all the signals and crossings on the line. But there was more trouble to come, as Tyler was going down the line, taking a maintenance train he had offered to take for Emily, as she was feeling ill. As he was approaching the gates, he was expecting them to open for him. Oh, there are the gates. The signalman should open them soon. But the gates stayed shut. Okay, I'm getting real close here. They should open soon, but they didn't open. Driver, apply the brakes! But it was too late. Poor Tyler. He had crashed right through the gates and held a piece of them on his buffers. Oh, get this silly thing off of me, he complained. But there wasn't any time to, and he had to continue on even with the gates on him. He wasn't happy at all. When Tyler arrived at Farquhar, he already found Gerald berating poor 13. He explained what had happened and well, whoever mad Gerald was, he was even madder at that moment. God damn it, 13! This is all your fault! How is this my fault? It's not my fault the gate didn't open. Yes, it is. Everything was going fine until you came along. And then suddenly, we have engines crashing through gates. We have holy hell raining on us. And everything is just going wrong because of you. I am out of here. And he stormed off, leaving a very sad 13 behind. Does he always talk to you like that? Yes, but it was never this bad. Well, you can't let him do that. I know. Still, I'm just not that type of engine to stand up for myself, 13 sighed. But 13 didn't need to do anything, as when Gerald came to the quarry, he bumped the trucks hard, and finally, the trucks had enough. Come on, barked Gerald. He was still very angry, and the trucks were too, and they devised a plan to pay him out. And then, just as they were exiting the quarry, push! The trucks pushed Gerald out of control. Now he couldn't stop. They were pushing him faster and faster. Gerald didn't want to go far. He wanted to slow down, but the trucks didn't let him. He raced over bridges and raced down the line at tremendous speeds. But then, 13 was on the same line as Gerald. Get out of the way! Gerald cried. 13 quickly puffed away, but it didn't matter. Gerald quickly whizzed by, and before they knew it, Gerald caught up. Help, save me, please! I'm trying, panted 13. Then, Gerald and 13 were both diverted onto a disused line, and then it happened. Oh, thank goodness, we stopped at last. Not the place I'd want to stop, but at least we stopped at all. Right, 13? 13 had nothing to say at all. After 13 was pulled out of the water and cleaned up, he sadly made his way home. When he got there, he only found Emily and Thomas there. Hello, 13. Why do you look so sad? Emily asked. Yeah, what's wrong with you? Thomas pondered. 13 explained everything that happened, and by the time he finished, Thomas and Emily felt really bad for him. Oh, 13, I'm so sorry that happened to you. You were really brave to manage to stop the train though, even though you did crash. I agree. Oh, but that Gerald is so rude sometimes. But then suddenly, a grin appeared on Thomas's face. You know, 13, speaking from experience, Gerald should be getting an earful from the fat director right about now. So, at least it isn't a complete loss, Thomas laughed. I probably shouldn't be happy about that. But I am. I think Gerald deserves that. Don't you? One very dreary morning, the rain was pelting hard onto the island. It seemed like it would never stop. It was loud and very wet outside. Most of the engines were still huddled in their sheds. None of them were really bothered by it, but Edward the Blue Engine was still feeling a bit glum. Regaby, who was also in the sheds at the time, noticed Edward looked sad. "What's the matter with you, Edward?" Regaby questioned. Nothing's wrong, Regaby. I'm just feeling a bit under the weather, if you know what I mean. But in all seriousness, my repairs are taking longer than expected, and I don't know if I'll manage to take my first train on time today. It's a sign, Regaby, Gordon bellowed indignantly. Edward is getting too old. He's falling apart. He always needs some sort of repairs or someone to fill in for him. He should just give up and be preserved before it's too late. I can take your first train, Edward. I shouldn't be too busy today. Thank you, Thomas. I really appreciate the help. No problem, Edward. You know you can always rely on me to help. Oh, and you, Gordon? I've said this once, and I'll say it again. You wouldn't know what hard work was, even if it bit you in the tender. Edward may be old, but he's still really reliable. He was running on these rails before you were even a sketch on a drawing board. Well, if you guys are done here, I think it's time I take my leave. As there's probably no shunters in the yards, I better go arrange my passenger train. Don't get struck by lightning. Oh, piss off, Thomas. Once the rain had stopped, the engines were working very hard, as tourist season had come, and many people flocked to the very famous island of Sodor. Many people had arrived to see the engines, and the engines couldn't be happier to see them. But pride comes before the fall. As soon, people started getting too close to the lines trying to get a good picture. The engines was usually just whistle to let them know they're there, but some had other ideas. None of the engines were happy about it, and it soon started becoming a very common problem. Even Ted the Radical Lorry wasn't happy. You would not believe the sights I saw today. This one man was trying to get a good picture of me at the station. He didn't even see Adam coming. He nearly hit the guy. Man, that is absolutely sick, but not in a good way. All these bloody children all over my spot, man. I need my dance floor to work it. Well, I haven't a clue what Ted said, but this actually is a problem. I nearly hit a guy on the crossing. I thankfully wished him out of the way. We need to do something about this. Maybe get the fat director involved, maybe call the cops. Whatever we do, we just need a solution to this mess. Me and the workmen have been clearing people's waste all afternoon. This is an absolute leak, man. We're due to do something about all these pop stars. Ten20 couldn't stay across for too long, and as he was traveling down the line, his spirits brightened. He saw some local boys playing in the streets. That also really pleased him. Ten20 was making good time, and it seemed like nothing else could go wrong. But that all soon changed when he approached the bridge. As he was going under it, he saw some local boys on it, and blew his whistle. Suddenly, with the loud sound of glass breaking, Ten20 quickly stopped. Instead of waving to Ten20 or taking down his number, the boys instead proceeded to throw sticks and stones at Ten20, breaking the coach's glass and hitting into Ten20's safety valve. The driver was also hit hard by one of the rocks, and he looked back up to the bridge to see if they were still there, but no, they quickly scampered off after throwing their stuff. Well, that's done it. I'm sorry, Ten20, but we can't go any further. Botheration, and we were going so well too. Blasted kids, where are their parents? Soon, help was called, and Holland arrived to take Ten20 away. Ten20 was patiently waiting in a siding. Harwin had to leave him there as he was called away, and as he was waiting, he was accompanied by a big green engine. And now what's the matter with you, Ten20? Everyone seems so upset today. I could never. Ten20 explained what happened, and by the time he finished, Regaby felt amused. You expect me to believe you were won over by some plain children? That would never be me. It's hard to deal with kids who are nowadays as malicious as those trucks. I bet I could deal with those kids. Nothing to it. I'll show you a good one, Ten20. Just you watch and wait. I send my regards to you, my good man. Let's see if you can deal with those stupid children. We need a plan. Oh, what's the matter, Regaby? I take it you lost the war against children. I am surprised. Don't patronize me right now. We must take action. Well, Regaby, while you were out fighting a war, I'd heard from the yardmaster that you're supposed to take a goods train to Knapford Harbor. So, your point being? Ten20 grinned and explained the plan to Regaby. So, after hearing 1020's plan, Rugby made his way down the line, and it didn't take long to approach the bridge with the boys on it. And quickly, his fireman sprang into action and held out the shovel, and he threw the blocks of coal out of the shovel. It hit into the boys' faces, and they were very, very bruised. Later that evening, Rugby and 1020 were telling the other engines what had happened, and not all of them were as pleased as they were. Rugby, I can't believe you actually did this! Throwing coal at kids! They're too young! They don't know any better! Oh, you do know we'll get a complaint from their parents. Oh, come on, Winston. The little buggers deserved it. Two wrongs don't make a right, Rugby. And that goes for you too, 1020. What the bloody hell are you thinking? Now, Edward, let's not get too hasty. Those brats deserved it if you ask me. They were asking for it the moment they started throwing rocks at 1020. No, Thomas, but... Look, we're all tired, and I think we should just get some rest and talk about this tomorrow. Fresh mind, fresh new day. Now, good night. And soon enough, everyone drifted off to sleep. But that wouldn't last long. Okay, you got the camera ready? Yep, I got it. We'll get some good pictures of the engines, and then we can sell them. Okay, just make sure to turn the flash off, so we don't wake them. Isn't it kind of weird that we're taking pictures of them while they're asleep? Yeah, but we couldn't get any others today, so... This feels a bit wrong. Of course it's wrong, you idiots. But we have no other options. We must do this and... What the bloody hell was that? I have no fucking idea, 1020, but I know I'm not sleeping here again. What the hell was that? I haven't the slightest clue, Thomas. Okay, everyone calm down and take a deep breath. 1020, you were the first one to wake up. What did you see? Did you hear anything? I didn't really understand much. I only understood how they were gonna do something that was wrong, apparently, and the word picture, I don't know. Maybe they were trying to take a picture of us? A picture? A bloody picture? They wanted to take a picture of us? Oh my god. Thomas, calm down. Calm down, Edward, calm down. You're telling me to calm down. Oh, what are you saying, Edward? Oh, Lord. This is going to stir up some problems tomorrow, and I just know it. The next morning, when Edward woke up, he found that there was nobody at the sheds. Oh well, thought Edward, they must have left earlier than usual today. Edward didn't think much of it, but then the inspector arrived. The inspector approached Edward and started speaking to the old engine. Edward, he said, Thomas is nowhere to be found, and there's nobody to help in the yards, so could you cover for him until we can find him? Yeah, sure, no problem, said Edward, very sleepily. What Edward forgot, however, is that he had to have some extra maintenance done to him to tighten his brakes. Edward forgot this, and so did the inspector. Perfect, Edward. Once Thomas comes back, you can go about your regular duties. Yes, okay, sir. Perfect. I'll go inform your driver and fireman now. And the inspector walked away. When Edward's crew arrived, they steamed up their engine and set off to work. Later that afternoon, Edward was just still shunting in the yards. Thomas still hadn't come back. Just then, the inspector arrived again to talk to Edward's driver and fireman. They seemed to talk for ages, but finally, the inspector left. Edward questioned his driver on what they were talking about, and his driver only said, "We have to take a last-minute goods train. The engine who was supposed to take it broke down," and Edward left. Edward arrived at his destination, and after he dropped off his trucks, he picked up another train that was due for Knapford Harbor, and he puffed away. Everything was going well. Under Edward's jurisdiction, the trucks caused no problems. Until there was another engine heading on the same line as Edward. Edward was surprised and quickly applied his brakes, but he couldn't stop. The signalman noticed this and quickly switched the points. Edward went one way while the other engine went another. The crash between Edward and the visiting engine was avoided, but there was another problem. Edward now couldn't stop. The trucks took this opportunity and pushed them on and on. Edward put every ounce of weight and steam he had, but he couldn't. His faulty brakes wouldn't work. Edward soon gained control of the train again, and he was slowing down, but not fast enough, and he was heading straight for trouble. Edward splashed into a dirty pond. Edward was happy he stopped, but not where he stopped. He laid tender deep into the water. "Oh dear," Edward groaned. He was bruised and bemused. But that was not the cherry on top. Some people came over and started taking pictures of Edward in the pond. They were laughing at him. Edward felt very embarrassed. I'm really sorry this happened to you, Edward. I didn't think that I would have to clear up more messes. Oh well, this is the island of Sodor for you. Don't worry about it, Howen. It's not your fault. Last time I take over someone's duties. Well, Edward, I have to go now. I have other duties to do. I wish I could stay longer. Bye! The next morning, Adam was backing into the yards to get a drink from the water column, when he was pleasantly surprised to see Edward there. "Oh, hey Edward, what are you doing here? I thought you would still be laid up at the works after your accident yesterday." "I'm as surprised as you are. The workmen said I hadn't suffered any severe damages, so they finished me up this morning, and here I am." "Well, I'm just happy you're here safe and sound. To hear that you, out of all engines, will have an accident. Hoo-wee, that really surprised all of us." I get that. I haven't had an accident in over a century. Still kind of shaken, but I'll get over it. Anyways, I think I should be going. I have a train to take soon, and Edward, why don't I take it? I mean, you've already suffered enough. Well, if you could do that, I would really appreciate it. And it would finally let me catch up on some sleep. My train is on track 4. The yardmaster will tell you everything else you need to know. Thanks for the advice, Edward. And Adam puffed away to collect the train. Oh my god, Ted, what are you playing at now? It's not my fault, man. These slippery slopers got me stuck on the crossing. Now I can't move along, man. So what am I supposed to do now? I have to go through, Ted. Dude, just go down a different path. I'll be out soon. Just don't know when. Fine. Then don't call me your Jude. Adam was just reversing onto the main line to go down a different track, when suddenly he heard a whistle blaring behind him. Oh no, Adam cried. He quickly jumped forwards to try and avoid the engine, but then there was trouble. He jerked his truck so hard that a loud crash of debris could be heard, but before he could look what it was, the engine was already coming down the line. And the brake van was still blocking the line! Oh no! Adam cried, and he watched in horror as it happened. The brake van was completely destroyed. Adam felt very annoyed at this. Oh, botheration! He cried out loud. What am I going to do now without a brake van? Can't you go without it, man? No, I can't, Ted. It's dangerous. And I've just come to the dark realization that some of the paint cans on my flatbed fell off. Oh! Now, you may think that this story doesn't have a happy ending, but it does. In the following weeks, accident rates started to plummet severely, and people who visited the island of Sodor became more careful around the railway. And that was exactly how the engines liked it.